Hey guys, we got another setup video. What rod to use and the equipment I use for certain techniques. We're going to cover a bunch of them here, but here's another one. This is actually my compact pitch and jig by Dirty Jigs. It's a signature series jig I have. It's a smaller profile jig, not a giant hook. The whole thing is just a jig that gets a lot of bites, and I've caught a lot of big fish on it too. But the rod I throw it on is a 7-foot heavy. This is one of my favorite rods, the rod actions in the G Loomis line. It's an 844 MBR. A rod I use for a lot of techniques that are kind of a mid-sized technique. It's not a full big jig. You don't need a big rod, but you want some backbone too, because you're probably gonna be throwing a jig around the cover a little bit, and of course you have a weed guard on it. This here is a GLX. It comes in all the lines. It's one of the most popular Loomis rods out there because it is such of a universal rod. On this rod I use 15-pound Seaguar Tatsu with this setup. Pretty much all the time. I really like the 15. It's a good all-around size. It casts well, but yet it's not too big to hinder the bait at all. 7/4-to-1 reel. You want to be able to pick up a lot of that slack when you get a bite. I want to get down to them before I jerk. You know, that little bit faster reel allows you to catch up some of that slack and be able to load up the fish. Shimano Corrado K, really just an all-around great reel. I'll use a Bantam a lot more when I'm pitching, just because that Bantam is so incredibly smooth, fits in my hand nicely. But if I'm casting a lot, I like that bigger frame size. Like here, I'll be skipping this jig around docks and underneath bushes and stuff like that. So I personally like a little bigger frame size when I'm casting it more. When I'm pitching more to isolated targets, I really like that Bantam 150. It's a great reel for it too. But that's my setup for a little jig. And again, this rod is great for you know, Texas rigged worms, smaller creature baits, all that kind of stuff. And I keep 15-pound line on this rod for a lot of everything I do. Just a great all-around rod. There's times I'll put 12 or 17, but don't stray a long way swimming. It's just a great fit for me, a rod I'm comfortable with and works with so many techniques out there.